What up? Yeah.
Day one training camp in the books.
Bolt bros.
Let's go.
Yeah, Bolt bros.
Let's go.
And Bolt dog over here.
And Bolt
and
dog.
Bolt dog.
Yeah,
should we grab the dog? We grab the little dog? Come on.
Grab the dog, dude.
Bolt dog. Hey.
Hey, Ozzy.
That's little Oswald. What's up, Ozzy?
Yeah.
Having a good time. All righty, folks. We want to talk about day one training camp. We got a lot to discuss, folks. So throw your questions out. It was awesome, folks.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I don't even know how to describe it, man. You guys need to be here. If you have a shot of making it, go, man. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh, H4, man, it was so good.
Yeah,
okay,
man. Well, you know, it's great just being able to see football once again.
Yes.
Great to see all the fan clubs there. Great to just kind of see. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about some people we hung out with. Too, and you know, we're going to have some stars with us. You know, so it was just a great time being out there. Once again, we're going to be there tomorrow. Andrew and I will be there tomorrow. And then we will all be back together on Saturday.
That's right.
For the big training camp. So, man, we got some photos and such that we're going to talk about here too. So, let's get into it, guys. So,
just walking into camp, folks. Yeah. Oh yeah,
yeah, boys.
Guys, the energy was amazing, man.
I mean,
it was amazing. Like there was it just everyone having a good time, everyone enjoying themselves. It was great.
Yeah, it's just absolutely epic, man. Yeah, it's just good to have football back in our lives.
What's
again.
up, Kevin?
Yeah.
How we doing?
You know?
How we doing?
Yeah. Kyle looks like he's about to do the 70s staying alive dance or something over here. Staying alive.
Yeah,
staying alive. Oh, oh, oh. And then
Yeah.
look at who we hung out with.
Yeah, that's right.
Look at who we hung out with.
What's up, Q? What's up, Q?
Got a photo with Q there, dude.
Yeah,
Kyle,
right.
Kyle got a little shaka going on in there too.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's
Yo, it
what's
was
up.
dope. It was dope.
Hang loose, brother.
Yeah, man.
Where you wanna get that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it was really hot out there, folks. I'm not joking. We were all just dying. It was crazy hot out there.
Yep.
I'll tell you what. I'm from Arizona. It wasn't that bad. I was just feeling a lot of humidity on my skin. I'm like, I don't know what this stuff is, but it was weird. But
yeah, it was definitely a different type of heat. That's
way
a good way of describing it. A different type of heat, just much more humid, man.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. It was a good time, really good time.
yeah, no doubt.
Oh, and then we got Rashawn. What's up?
Yeah, man. I think he might need a haircut or maybe it's helmet hair.
Oh yeah, it's definitely got some helmet hair.
Helmet
there,
hair
yeah.
going on
Yeah.
there. But yeah, it's cool that he came over there after just talking with some of the media guys over there and came over and said what up to us, took a photo. It was awesome. It was awesome. You know, there was also Derwin James came over too, hopped over the fence where we were standing at to give autographs to the kids and all that stuff too. And it was just, man, you love seeing that. And there was a good crowd for a Wednesday. Wait, is it
For
Wednesday?
Wednesday. For Wednesday.
That's killer. That's
For
killer.
Wednesday. And Saturday, by the way, is sold out, folks.
Yeah.
Apparently, it is completely sold out. So you got to get there early. There were people lined up at 3 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah.
3 a.m. in the morning, folks.
Well,
Yeah.
who was it? Was the Inlet?
Inland Empire.
Inland Empire.
Diehards.
Yeah.
They showed up at 3 a.m. They just they couldn't sleep. Honestly, for me, I was the same way. Like last night, I literally woke up at 3 a.m. Then I woke up at 4 a.m. Then I woke up. I'm like, I gotta go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so Daryl, one thing we talked about with John Johnson, you guys know I've been a big fan of him getting signed. Now, I will say this, man, Gilman looked pretty good out there. I mean, look, they're just getting the wiggles out. They're getting the wiggles out. But at the end of the day, Gilman looked pretty good. And, JT Woods looked big.
Yeah.
He looked big. I was like, man.
He definitely added some weight.
He added some weight, and so, I mean, they're not getting physical out there. It's two-hand touch out there at the moment right now. But, I was really impressed with day one. And offense looks solid, guys. We're going to talk more about that as well, too. The offense looked really good. It looked lit. Lots of motion, lots of interesting formations. I mean, the formations were pretty much the same, but looked good, man.
Yep.
First team looked good.
Looked good. It looked
good. Looked good.
And we'll talk more about that here. Let's just kind of get through a couple of photos here.
Oh, here we go.
And then after training camp, we talked about with the brisket broads who are over there on the left. And then we got Corbin over there, Snappy.
Senior
Snappy.
Yeah.
Rivers Lake
Yacht
Club.
The Rivers Lake Yacht Club guys there. We're all over here enjoying some ramen. I hyped up this ramen spot. I think I delivered.
It was good. It was good. Good stuff.
It was just around the corner from training camp, and it was awesome. Have some delicious ramen and enjoy it. So,
oh my gosh, it was
great. Time,
it was so
man.
great. It was so good. Honestly, guys, look, if you can make it to camp, just go, man. It is worth it, man. You have such a great time. We got in the media booth. We were hanging out. Met Chris Hayrie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fernando.
Fernando.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
I mean, it was a good time. So yeah, we're trying to get press passes here pretty soon. So we'll see what happens with that as well.
Shout out to Jamal, by the way, with the Chargers.
Jamal with the Chargers, man, for sure.
Shout out.
We need to definitely talk to him about that, all that. So let's just kind of break down Herbert's contract real quick. This is good stuff because I think it's good to sort of see what happened and where he's getting paid and how he's getting paid moving forward, right? So
Daryl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Shoot
Hey,
out your question.
set it out, man.
Shoot
Set
that
it out,
question
guys.
out. Shoot that question out. All right. So James,
Yeah.
if you want to break this down, we could kind of go through it a little bit. But again, this is a very team-friendly contract. I was very impressed about this. Very impressed.
Yep.
Very team-friendly. So I thought this was pretty sick. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, the
Tell us
beautiful thing about it is obviously this year it still has rookie-based contract, so
Yep.
it's an extension of his current
Yes.
contract. So
Yes.
since we picked up a fifth-year option, which is 2024,
yes.
that is currently the $19 million cap hit. But this year, obviously, it's $8.4 million, so we don't have to deal much with that at all. But the 2024, after he signed an extension, it cleared up $10 million.
$10 million.
So that means that we have $50 million, well, negative $50 million. I don't have $50 million, but hey, it went from 60 to 50 based upon signing the Herbert contract.
100%,
That is
100%.
awesome to see. So it was a really good choice to be able to do that. That could be huge for next year and make a massive difference of what we need to do or can do or have to do.
Well, it's even
for
like
players.
signing a guy like John Johnson, right?
Yeah,
we have the
exactly.
money now to sign him. So
Yep.
so we're not losing anything. In fact, if anything, we're gaining our
Yep.
quarterback. And by the way, he has a no trade clause in his contract as well, too.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
if you watch his video today, too, he's like, I can't wait. This is where I want to be. You
Yeah.
clearly can tell he wants to be nowhere else
Yeah.
but here.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
it's
so-
it sounded like he was like absolutely just relieved,
Yep.
because they got the deal done.
They got the deal done.
Because I mean, like
Yeah.
you said, like this was his dream team to play with.
This is where
you
he
know?
wanted to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't matter.
This is where he
there's
wanted to be.
Nobody else. So
Yep. I mean, what a nice way. Can I walk into a job and just get a $262 million
Yeah.
$262
contract?
million
I
contract.
mean,
I mean, just show up for camp.
Yeah,
you
just
know?
show up again. But guys, man, it's gonna be so sick. And again,
I guess we did answer his question.
oh,
Oh, what was the question? Oh, cap.
probably cap,
Oh.
probably cap it.
Cap stuff,
Yeah, we were looking at this quite a bit, guys. I mean, we really took a lot of time on this. We talked about it quite a bit on the drive down, drive back, all the
Yeah.
above, right? So,
right.
anyways, but let's break it down also to the
2024. Let's
Yep.
just talk a little bit about that. I mean, we talked about that already with like the 10 million less. That's going to be hit towards the
Yep.
cap number because I think that number was at around 27,
it
28
was,
million.
yes.
And then 2025, that's when a little bit more of the bump kind of gets involved there with the cap hit at 37 million, which
Yep.
is still actually
That's not
relatively cheap in comparison to some other guys. Like I went over Lamar Jackson's contract. There's like $60 million years.
Yeah.
There's 50 something million dollar years. I mean, that is a big, pretty friendly based contract.
Dude, it really is.
And then you go into the 2026 level, it's 46 million, which is still like pretty good in comparison to what the NFL is doing right
Yeah.
at this moment.
Right.
I want to say Patrick Mahomes is close to 45 million a season on
Yeah,
a
he
cap
is.
hit
He is.
for the most part. But it's interesting because when you go to 2027, it almost views this contract more as a 3-year contract
Yes.
with basically a 3-year option on top of that. So, well, I should say probably the opposite. It's more of like a 2-year contract
Right.
extension, but essentially 2027, you could actually walk away from this contract and start
Completely.
getting positive
Yep.
on it. So it is a pretty wild contract. And obviously, when you look at 2027, it's a $58 million hit. 2028 is a $71 million hit, and then a $59 million hit to finalize the contract. Now, you could do things at 2026 and you say, hey, Herbert's still balling. He's doing what he needs to do.
Yeah.
You could basically restructure at that point, extend, and make those cap hits less.
See, and I think this is why a lot of quarterbacks and even players now are wanting to do shorter term contracts because they can just go out there, do their thing, and then they could renegotiate their contracts again. So again, probably 2026, 2027,
Yeah.
they'll probably renegotiate these contracts
You
moving
wanna-
forward.
Maybe look at that and stretch it out a little bit.
Yeah, 100%, right? So it's great. And then you can still pay someone like Q because Q in about 2026 is really going to start needing his money, right? I mean, obviously, if Q balls out like we think he will. So this is where the conversation comes into play where you have money to spend, which I think is great. This is kind of like a Tom Brady contract, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really that's a good way of looking at it. I
Sure.
The more I look at this contract, the more I'm like, dang, this is not selfish.
Yeah.
I think the big thing too, though, and sorry to cut you off, is really the no trade clause. You can
Yep.
definitely tell he wants to be here. He doesn't want to be anywhere else.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
And if you watch what Herbert said today in his press conference, he said, you know what? There's a lot of people I want to give this money to. People from Eugene. He wants to give back to the community. Clearly, Herbert is really involved in the community, willing to give back, and that's really what he wants to do. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh, big time. And the beautiful part of it is even the next 4 years are not massive hits
No.
to the salary cap. If
No.
you could even look at it right now, it's got 15% at the most for 2026.
Yeah.
13.2% for 2025, 7.6. Like, these aren't massive hits. Now, once again, you got to invest. When you got a guy like this, you have to invest. You have to pay this kind of guy. But
100%.
really, the next 4 years aren't bad
Not
at all,
dude. There's a lot of money to play with. A lot of Robin Peter to pay Paul. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Look, and again, that's one thing that I think is so great about this. If you really break down this actual contract, it's, again, like I said, very team friendly.
Yep. And I'm going to say one thing too, also on this.
Very true.
Of this contract, fully guaranteed money is only $133 million out of this. So there is incentives to be able to get that extra money.
Yes.
Through injury clause and all these different things too.
Yeah.
So basically, his initial, I think, figures of what was it, $215 million guarantee or whatever it might be.
Right.
That still has to be activated at a certain point, and that might actually be more in the latter years, or if he's going to be healthy for the next.
Very true. Very
few
true.
years.
Yeah.
So there's kind of incentives to get more. I mean, who wouldn't want to make another $100 million?
Right.
Like, you could try your best to not get injured, kind of thing.
Well, and this is a good point. This is exactly the whole point, right? There is money available to maybe restructure contracts. I don't know that it'll happen. Mac and Bosa, Allen Williams, who knows, right? We'll have to figure that out. But there is some wiggle room.
Well, and I'm going to say one thing too. If the Chargers do not spend any more money this year,
yes,
if they have 12 million, I think still to spend, I believe, or something like that, 11, 12 million. If they don't spend $1 of that, at the end of the year, they could actually claim that to forward that ahead towards next year. So what that basically could do is that you'll be at $38 million negative, which you start thinking, well, with that 10 million that we did to sign this contract, well, and then 12 million towards that, we could essentially keep one of these other players and then possibly just try to restructure 3 of them and potentially could even keep everybody.
Yep.
Right.
Too. So there's a lot of ways that we can move money around in this situation. Now, that's a perfect situation, and that's not going to be the situation because you're going to have to sign some guys throughout the year, unless they're just going to go the youth wave from this point on and just have the guys that are on the team and practice squad, and that's going to be it.
Well, and I will say this. You got to give Tom Telesco credit for this because this is a great contract.
Yeah.
Yep.
And getting this done, especially with Joe Burrow out there, he did a good job. He did a very good job. You have to at least tip of the cap, tip of the cap.
Tip of the spear.
Tip of the cap.
Oh,
Yep.
100%. Yeah.
Tip of the cap
Yeah,
to TT. Phone. Hop in. Phone.
Where you at?
Where you at, dog? And Kevin, that's a good point. Yeah, it is true.
Honestly, I think it's a good idea to get the contract in before Burrow because obviously the longer it goes on, the bigger the contract's going to be.
Yep.
So yeah, I can say Burrow's probably going to get like a 270 over 5 years or something. Like that,
He'll probably make what $2 or $3 million more a year.
Yeah,
maybe more guaranteed.
It'll be half of it'd probably be about 55 mil.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Good point.
Exactly.
Good point.
Yeah.
But we should probably recap some of the things that we saw today. Because we saw a lot of really good things.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, by the way, and I'm going to pull up the information on this. Who did we just sign as well too? While we talk about what we saw.
Yeah.
Let me pull this up here. But
It was like a wide receiver, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a wide receiver.
It was a wide receiver.
Oh, and by the way, Jalen Guyton, Austin Johnson are placed on the PUP list too.
Yep.
So they weren't there. We were kind of looking around trying to find Jalen Guyton. We didn't see him on the field.
Yep.
Otito Obonya is also on the PUP list. So
on the PUP list.
Basically, they're just trying to rehab their knees. Actually, I think ironically, all of them are knees.
Yeah, they're all knees, I believe. No. Tito was a pec, wasn't it?
I thought it was a knee.
It could have been.
It was a knee.
Either way, he's hurt. He's hurt. He wasn't out there. He wasn't out there. He wasn't feeling good.
Milton Wright.
Oh, Milton Wright.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll pull that up, guys. We'll pull up some information on that one. We were going to do a separate video on that. We said, let's just do it the live stream. And again, we're going to do a live stream tomorrow as well. Probably just be James and myself. And then we are going to go live again on Saturday as well. Probably at Hooters. Nobody goes to Hooters for wings. Nobody goes to Hooters for wings, folks. That's what Chris Rock says.
Boy.
But here's the thing. But there's going to be a big party after on Saturday. It's going to be a fun time. So if you guys are in the area, come down there for sure.
So just to give you a little idea of Milton Wright, though, I guess he was ineligible for 2022 season in May. He would have been produced top receiver had he returned last year. He missed the Music City Bowl for academic issues. During his college career, appeared in 27 games, caught 99 passes for 1,325 yards, receiving and 10 total touchdowns over the course of 3 seasons. So, I think could be kind of just filling a gap a little bit. Could just be putting another body out there just to see how he does with the team. Who knows? I mean, I'm not really sure about the guy or anything like that. But he is going to be another body out there for us. So wide receiver added to the team. Could be also just, since Jalen Guyton's on the PUP list, it's just putting another guy out there.
Yeah, here we go. Milton Wright right here. Yeah, and again, guys, who knows, right? By the way, Darius Shepard looked really good out there. I was kind of shocked. Like, he looked really good out there. Darius Shepard looked good. Man, I'm telling you, our offense looks awesome. We should probably talk about it, but look, my point is this, folks. This is great. They're bringing in more people in here. Yep. This guy's awesome. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to discuss.
6'3" too, so another tall
guy. Another tall guy, dude.
Receiver, perfect.
Man, us Bolt Bros, we're never gonna play for the Chargers, man. I tell you what, we ain't got the height, folks. We ain't got the height. You know what I mean? But it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, hey, another body out there looking pretty sharp.
Eighth in the chat. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
What up, boy?
It went great. So, and maybe we should start with this guy right here, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
JC.
That was my number one priority.
Yes.
See if JC's on field.
Dude.
And he was on field.
He looked good,
right
bro.
From the get-go.
He looked good.
And, I mean, the beautiful part of it is that, he was out there probably for half the day. I think they were just testing his knee, seeing how he went. Actually, after practice, we were kind of hanging out where they were going to the bus to go back to HQ and everything. We said what up to him, and he was just amped. He was so excited to be on the field. So it didn't look like it was a point of, like, he was having a hard time of walking to the bus. He seemed like, hey, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. So I'm excited to be able to see JC if he's going to be on the field tomorrow.
Yep.
Hopefully his knee's working good. He did also have a beautiful pass breakup against Keenan Allen too.
Big time.
And, Derwin James talked a little bit about that after practice too. He said, hey, man, it's great to see a guy out there like that. It's awesome. Awesome to see JC Jackson out there.
It was interesting. I know he lined up like right next to us. We were all there, and I was like, "Oh, it's JC!" And everyone just started screaming JC, and he just started, hyping everybody up.
He's loving it.
I'm just saying this, guys. You could tell he wants to prove. Like, he's been hearing a lot of doubters, right?
Yep.
I mean, we've all gotten frustrated. He got paid a lot of money. He got paid fat money, right?
Right.
And didn't have much of a season, right? So he wants to come back, man. I'll tell you what. He looked really good out there. He looked great.
Oh yeah. And once again, you get a guy like this, Mr. INT. This guy gets you. I mean, he's led the league in interceptions for the last, I think it was 5 years or something crazy like that.
Big time.
The guy, and that's even after he had 0 last season. Like
0.
This guy is a ball hawk. He has the ability to be a difference maker to this defense. He has the ability to really take this defense to another level. I mean, it's awesome. He was lined up. Well, the other cornerback was Michael Davis, by the way, too.
Yep.
So, and Sate kind of rotated back in every now and then, and it's great. It's great to see him out there. So I'm excited about seeing him out there. So we could just throw out some other notes and everything here too about it. Also, they blended in the safety position, JT Woods, Alohi Gilman.
Yep.
They even had a package where they put Derwin James kind of more in the slot position with JT Woods, Alohi Gilman in the backfield.
100%.
So really crazy to see that. Now, once again, this is day one. They're just trying little things out. That's all it is. But what if they had the ability to really put, Derwin out on the slot, put him more in the box, move him around? I mean, allow him to be able to be a free roaming player.
Yep.
How cool would that be to see?
Yeah, and it was really well. And again, JT, like we already said this at the very beginning. If you guys missed it, JT Woods looked a lot bigger. He looked big out there. I was like, bro, he looks big.
Yep.
Gilman looked good out there too. And then Leo, just to your point, right? Kendricks is all over the place, man. He looked really good too. Yep. Matlock looked good. There was a couple times Matlock looked solid. Yeah. I mean, I was like, woo.
Right.
I mean, he just jammed right. I mean, he looked great.
He broke through that O-line so easily and got to it was definitely a tackle for a loss, I believe, on Spiller for a run, and he was amped. He was boom.
Yep, he
I'm
got
taking
in.
that soul, bro.
Yep.
You know,
He looked good, dude. Look, if the defensive line can stay healthy, and by the way,
Yeah.
Nick Williams looked gigantic
He looked
out there too. I was like
massive.
looking, I was like, oh my gosh.
massive body.
Didn't see Gerard Clark out there.
Yeah.
I don't know where he was specifically.
Yeah.
And to answer your question about Pokey Wilson, he was not supposed to play,
He
but
was
we
out
saw
there.
80. His number's 83.
Yep.
Mhm.
He was out there. So, yeah, and he made a couple plays.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, though.
I think he started the day as on pup, though, right?
Well, he was listed as pup, but the problem was
Yeah.
there was also people on like Guyton was not out there,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
Tito was not listed on the pup, and he wasn't out there. So,
Right.
anyways, I think there were some game time decisions
Yeah.
on that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Absolutely.
anyways, yeah, go ahead and continue on with your notes, and then we'll go to your questions here, Aether.
So I was going to say, talking a little bit about offense. You know, this is an exciting offense. Everybody, fans wise, even some of the media guys we chatted about, it's big to see Kellen Moore out there. Everybody is very, very excited about Kellen Moore. And this day, there was a lot of downfield passes. It was
Everything-
like 20 plus yards.
Everything was
Like,
vertical.
Very,
Everything was
very vertical.
Yep.
Outside of the first play call, which Senior Snappy pointed this out. He said, first play is a little dump off to Austin Eckler.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
we've seen that before.
Yeah.
Actually, Senior Savvy said something really funny. He's like, oh, yeah, you know one thing I miss about Joe Lombardi? Nothing.
Yeah. And then
Nothing.
you just stay
Nothing at
quiet.
all.
Yeah.
I just thought it was
Yeah,
hilarious. I
that's
thought that
good.
was super funny. Yeah, but it's a really good point. But again, everything was vertical. The one thing that I noticed too, there was a lot of motion in the backfield.
Yep.
A lot of things going on, and then everything was always just driving upfield,
Right,
driving
right.
upfield, which I thought was great.
Really good. There
Yep.
was also like one play shortly after the check down to Eckler.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was a Joshua Palmer big catch for about 40 plus yards
Yep.
on a very high point catch.
Yep.
Yeah.
And dude, great to see that. You know, when you draft a guy like QJ, you want to be able to think, you hope that would elevate everybody's play. Dude, Josh Palmer could be this, and he had a great year, by the way, last year. If his play could be even more elevated, how many wide receivers do we have on this dang team that are just studs?
Right.
Like, we could have 4 wide receiver sets and just be unstoppable, like we've been saying.
Yep.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
now, once again, they're not playing in pads, they're playing in helmets. It's just run around and nothing too crazy or anything like that. But hey, it's exciting to see already.
Yep.
And I'm excited for day 2. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and again, guys, you got to remember they're just getting the wiggles out at this moment too,
Yep.
right? I mean, they're not doing anything crazy, right?
Yep.
You know, I mean, they're not hitting people.
They're
or
not
anything
playing
like
at
that.
full speed at any point. Yeah.
Yep.
So the offense is going to look better than the defense for sure, because the defense is just kind of out there, kind of getting the wiggles out. But they're definitely trying to figure out what they want to do moving forward.
Yep.
But
Absolutely.
yeah. So, we'll see how that plays out specifically.
And there's also one other play with QJ versus Dean Leonard.
Yeah, Dean Leonard.
Man, QJ made this cut in the inside, got it, boom, and it ended the drive. Like, it was like a full-blown drive for Herbert to be able to get to the end zone, or at least play full 4 downs or whatever it might be. And QJ just got this inside cut just for a massive gain. I think it ended up being a touchdown actually too, technically, because he just broke him off.
It was.
I don't say that.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
he broke his legs. It's
He
kind of like
broke his
in basketball.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I'm no joke. He is deceptively fast.
Yep.
That's the thing that's interesting about him. He's very deceptively quick. I mean, for a tall guy, he moves very quick.
What-
So yeah,
What did I say today? I said, slow feet don't eat.
Yeah.
Slow feet don't eat, son.
baby.
slow feet don't
don't
eat. Hey,
eat.
should we do a shirt like that? Slow feet don't
exactly.
eat.
Yeah.
Yep. And Leo, actually, if you don't talk about, we just talked a little bit about QJ. I mean,
Yep.
he looked really good. He's got that great ability to catch the ball and just turn
He got
around and go.
He got
Go,
a lot
go.
of. He got a lot of passes.
a
Today,
lot
too.
of passes. Did actually even have a little bit of what's it called? The sweeps.
Yeah,
too.
jet sweep.
Jet sweep. He
Jet
got one
sweep.
of those.
Yep.
Darius Davis actually had some pretty good catches to the inside, so played a little bit more of the inside or the flat kind of area, and also in the slot area.
Yep.
He looked actually good too. Very quick.
Really good,
Once again,
really good.
he did actually have a catch where he did fumble it, but then did recover it.
That was Keemon. No, it wasn't. No. Webb.
Yep.
Webb
Yep.
stripped him.
Yep.
Webb stripped him.
Yep.
And once again, Mark Webb's another guy that's out there that's
He
been on
looked
his
good.
team for some years now.
He
He's
looked
been
good.
in the system. So,
He looked good.
but man, it's great. And I'll say this too. I mean, we already talked about Matlock, but Justin Herbert threw a pass to Mike Will on his back shoulder for 30, and it was
Yeah.
just like perfect looking. His arm motion too is a lot more horizontal versus a lot more of the
sidearm
type thing. So he is looking really, really good.
By the way, Allen looked fantastic too.
Allen
had a couple one-handed catches. Just
beautiful.
Amazing. You're like, what the hell, dude?
And that was on Asante Samuel covering it.
It was
too.
on ASJ.
Yeah.
Jasir Taylor was out there a lot as well. So, man, I'm telling you, it was a lot of rotations, lots of snaps for a lot of players out there. I was very impressed. I mean, I was extremely impressed. I just felt like, man, the offense looked good.
Right.
If they played like that all the time, I think we're going to be a good job. Again, it's camp. You're saying it. You're exactly right. Camp. It is what it is.
It is what it is. So, it's all fun and games at this point. It's all fun to be able to watch out. It's exciting to watch. It's exciting to see these players that we've all been kind of just analyzing for all these months, and it's exciting to see. And I'll say John Hightower had probably a 50-yard bomb.
He did
that he basically caught from Herbert for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about it is, and one thing that we all just observed, there is a lot more 20-yard plus passes in this offense. And that is great to see. And to be honest, Justin Herbert knows that's his job. He needs to throw the ball downfield. And it's exciting. As long as we got an O-line that's out there making it happen, Jamari, if you're watching, give me that signature, bro. I saw you. I know we locked eyes. We locked eyes, man. Come on. Come on. I got that pin ready to go. Let's go.
And as far as any kickoffs, there was no kickoffs happening. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting. They were doing these kind of like weird drills. They were kind of like
run down field, turn around to block.
It's basically just like the beginning of the special team situations. The jammers and the
jammers.
Jammers and there's the other side of it though. Again, I can't remember.
Gunners.
Gunners
and jammers. That's kind of what they were doing. It's interesting. Thule was out there for that too, which I thought was kind of interesting. I was like, what's he doing out there?
Xander Horvath was out there a lot.
Xander was as well too. Anyways, but that was kind of interesting. So, I mean, really interesting to see.
One other note that I had here too. Darius Davis made a great catch with JT Woods and Deion Henley on him. He was basically double covered and had a great catch to the sideline. Which was great to see. And then there was also a kind of like a dump off pass to QJ with Thule covering him. And it probably got about 40 yards after the catch on that. It was awesome to see. So this is an exciting offense. And once again, we're sounding like we're talking very heavily about the offense, but that is one thing that if we know we could just get to, we talked about 27 points, 28 points a game. To be honest, like bold prediction, like we could be the Patriots of 2007 where they were just lighting up the scoreboard. Because the amount of talent that they had. I mean, they had Randy Moss on that team. They had, it was insane.
But I mean, we got a lot of depth too, right? And again, there's a lot of opportunities to do really well, right? I mean, it's going to be big. It's going to be big.
I mean, should we all be really comfortable with 27 points a game? I mean, I don't know about that one, guys.
Well, I mean, what was the stat that I showed you guys where it talked about how many quarterbacks in the NFL and how, if they've dropped 28 points. I mean, 27 was a bad number because of the Jags game.
Right.
But 28 points, when a team scores 28 points on them, the win-loss record is very, very low. Big time. So it's kind of like that's a key number. I mean, I kind of go back to the mid-2000s, the Marty Schottenheimer days, and I felt that it was always like just score 35, but we're solid.
100%.
Like, we're solid.
Well, 35 for sure. I mean, I think the 28 or 29 was the most of any team this last season.
Chiefs and Eagles, I think, were in that zone.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So. But anyways, and Aether, we got a great, obviously quarterback. Herbert obviously did not care about the money, right? He wanted some money, but he like we said at the very beginning, we already talked about this, pretty much at nauseum. He definitely gave us a very nice team-friendly contract, which is great. So we can play around with it, which is good. So I'm really happy to see what he did there.
Yeah, Aether, take a look at the video because I know you kind of jumped in a little bit later. Just look at the beginning of the video and we talked, probably a little bit more, 10 minutes in.
Yeah, about 10 minutes
about the breakdown of it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good breakdown. But again, it's awesome. I mean, very team-friendly, better than I expected for sure. So that's good. And the speed of the Dolphins, man, hey, like we did last year, right? I mean, you never know where they're going to come up with this season as well, too. But again, if they run the same offense like they had before, it's going to be basically the same thing. Right. Bust the zone and see what they can do,
put
right?
Pressure on Tua. I mean, that's all we really need to do,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, I mean, like what did we do on week 1 against the Raiders last year? Right. I mean, we had a healthy Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. And they were the ones that stopped the game too.
Yeah.
I mean, they killed the game. Remember, it was I think Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa got the strip sack at the end,
Strip sack,
end of the game kind of thing. So, you know what? Hopefully we'll be healthy at that time. I mean, that's health. I'm going to say that all the time for this offseason up to the point of the season. We could be healthy. We could be dominant. I guarantee you that. It's going to be a big thing for us.
Yeah, it's going to be sick. So, and then this is an interesting, good point right here, Kevin. Good question. I don't know how many realistic.
Yeah.
In fact, we talked to Chris Hayre briefly, and there's not a lot left, right? And yep. Was it Derwin who said it, or was it Brandon Staley? I think maybe it's Brandon Staley who said it after. He's like, look, man, we've already been out here. We already know these guys. You know, there's not a lot of spots. It's really going to be mostly practice squad folks and people that can do well in special teams. But really, people that are on the field now, these rookies, undrafted free agents, it's their opportunity to show that they can do it and other teams can scoop them up. You know, our team is pretty deep right now, which is great. So that's a good question.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Big time.
Now, again,
Absolutely.
It's day one. It's day one.
And it's camp.
It's day one. It's camp.
A little bit of underwear Olympics.
And honestly, folks, dude, like the defense was not out there running super hard. I mean, they were trying, but they weren't out there, you know, putting hits on anybody or anything like that, right? So
Yep. By the way, guys, like, subscribe if you guys aren't. You appreciate all the support and everything. Just gonna say shout out to everybody out at camp today, just saying what up to us, chatting with us.
It's a good time.
Hanging with us. I mean, we love talking about football, and we're glad to be able to be a part of kind of the system of the Chargers and all the fan base and everything. And we love saying what up to you guys. So if you guys are at camp tomorrow, we will be there. Andrew and I will be there.
Yep.
And Saturday, Kyle and us, all of us will be there. So can't wait for it, guys.
It's interesting to see here.
And I don't know full pads. I think full pads is next week. I think there is some full pad practices next week. So yeah, this week it's just kind of helmets, more or less.
So we went to the facility afterwards.
Oh yeah.
And we were going to try and shoot this video there, but everything kind of closed around 2. And, they frown upon us doing anything like that. So we said, well, let's just go back to our sister's place. But it was interesting because we were there. I did buy Brandon Staley a coffee. I said it's from the Bolt Bros.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he gets it. Hopefully he drinks it too as well. Yeah. But what was it? Was it brown sugar or what?
Brown sugar latte.
Brown sugar latte. I got it as well. It was very tasty. A BSL. From the Bolt Bros. BSL from the Bolt Bros.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
It'd be funny if he said something about it. Hey, shout out to the Bolt Bros for my free coffee here.
I really did.
That ain't gonna. She just took that order and walked away.
She's looked at me. She's like,
put it as a tip. Okay, cool.
See you later. Bye. Yeah, and these are the folks that were on. And again, the one that was supposed to be on the pup was actually Pokey, which is weird because he was out there playing. So I was like, okay, very interesting. So again, we'll have to watch that as well too. And again, A3, it's $53 million a year. Well, I will say this though, it's not technically $53 million a year because it's an extension. So. You know, it's actually going to be scaled up to, I think, what was it again? What did it finally go
up to? It goes up to $71 million at some point.
71, which they're going to definitely renegotiate at that moment as well, too.
I mean, if you really break down the cap hits, it's really kind of more of a 3-year extension per se.
Yes.
With basically, it's actually like more of a 2-year extension with his rookie 5th-year contract. So there's kind of a way that they could kind of manipulate the numbers after a certain amount of years.
So very team friendly, basically.
Very
we already talked about that as well too. But anyways, yes, it is a very, very. I mean, it's a great contract.
Yep.
Man, I tell you what, dude, 12-5 would be sick. Hey, we'll see.
Yeah.
And I think when we start talking about position battles, right? I mean, we didn't really talk a whole lot about that to anybody really out there as well. I think we were just excited to see, football again and these guys out there running around.
Yeah.
You got to see how Gilman's going to play. You got to see what JT Woods is going to do.
Yep.
Those are all the conversations that matter, right? And injuries do occur. So if any injuries do happen, let's knock on wood, please no injuries.
Yep.
If that doesn't happen, we might be in good shape and, we don't need to scoop anybody up. But you never know how that plays out. So could be really interesting, folks. But again, it's day one, as you guys all discussed. It's day one.
Yep. And we'll, obviously for tomorrow, we will do a recap again.
Yes.
Of day 2 of just what we had and all of the notes that we do see and everything too. So, you know, it's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just exciting to see football once again.
Yes, sir.
So fun.
It's great to see a lot of fans there. You know, I think it was Chris Hayrie that we were talking about, or maybe it was Fernando that we were chatting.
Yeah, Fernando, probably Fernando.
And he was talking about something about like, you know, it's interesting because the Chargers really aren't getting the hype this year. And I said, well, the thing about it is when you spend a lot of money, you get the hype.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we didn't spend a lot of money this year, but when we got the hype last year for the guys that we spent money on, they're back again.
Well,
So
it's a running back year,
it's
right?
a running back.
It's a running back.
Run
year.
it back.
Yeah, yeah.
No, because of the Duck Dynasty bros. Yeah.
The Duck Dynasty.
That's right.
Oh,
That's
there
right.
we go. There we go. Quack, quack.
Yeah, where's my sweet tea at?
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet tea.
You see my tea glass? Oh, I got my tea glass.
tea glass.
No.
I got my tea glass. You can call me Uncle Si.
Now we're cooking with peanut oil.
Now
That's
we're cooking
right.
with peanut oil.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So we are between two beers as well too,
That's
which
right.
is good stuff.
You know, and one thing I'm going to say too, Leo, I think he's talking about, my guess is Herbert's going to do a lot of good things with his money.
Yep.
He's a selfless person. He talked a lot about after
He did.
practice. He said,
He did.
hey, like, I got to get back to the community in Los Angeles. I'm going to also do my community out in Oregon, you know, and I think he even said, hey, I got to be the guy like Khalil Mack and step up for the team and
Yes.
provide dinners too.
Yeah.
Provide dinners.
Yep.
Do some
You got to
captaining.
remember he was on his rookie contract. He wasn't getting paid nothing,
Nope.
nowhere near
Nope.
Mac. And you know, it was interesting that you say that. You bring that up because this team is pretty special, right?
Yep.
And I think a lot of everyone we talked to was like, man, this team could really do some awesome things. Oof, boy, I think it could happen.
Yep.
I think that you have a lot of selfless players on the team. I think Mac and Bosa are two good examples because they're good friends.
Right.
Yep.
Bosa doesn't like to be at OTAs. He was there because of Mac,
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
And so if there's a chance where they could say, hey, look, agent, I don't care. I know I'm supposed to get $33 million next year. Bust it down, make it a team-friendly contract, extend me out 2 more years. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I could see Mac doing it. And guys, he's in LA. It could be very easy for him to move into another career path moving forward. You want to stay in LA, right? If you're a player in the NFL, you want to stay in LA. The NFL Network is right down. They share the same parking lot.
Stadium.
At the stadium, guys, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be said about that, you know, and man, it's exciting, folks. It's exciting.
Yep. Very exciting. So
we don't want to be too long-winded, but
Yeah.
day one's in the books. It was exciting. These are just our initial thoughts. We haven't seen any other podcasts at this point. But you know, it's just our thoughts, and we just wanted to give you our thoughts, you know, on day one.
yeah, that's it. Simple.
Good.
Okay, guys.
Good
All right.
times.
Yeah.
Well, you guys will see another video with us tomorrow as well. If any news happens, you know, during the day, we'll see if we can get something out there as well too. But it's going to be awesome.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's get it.
Let's
We're the
go.
Boat Bros.
Boat Bros.
See ya.
Let's
go.
go.